clearly that because of the threat of losing its position in the global economy, a number of things must be done. One of the things that it said must be done was that it has to ensure that the market for raw materials from the developing world are open to it so that they can get raw materials for us in this industry. In fact, precisely because of that, the European Union introduced the EPA negotiations as late as 2007, something that was never part of the negotiations. It insisted that people must agree to phase out or abolish export taxes on raw materials in the economy. So in Ghana, for instance, the interim agreement, we have got something that says that export tax must never be charged anymore on goods. And in Ghana, we charge export taxes only on scrap metal. Scrap metal that we use to make cutlasses and hoes and iron for people to use. Now, the European Union said that we should let scrap metal be exported free. Right? In Kenya, they are trying to get export tax abolished on leather. The Kenyans want to put export tax on leather so that the leather will be used domestically to make shoes. The European Union said no, abolish those kind of export taxes. So actually, the problem about the European EPA has to do with Europe's broader position in the world. And that is the last point I will make, then I will stop because I'm talking too much. That the global situation which we have today, right, confronts both Africa, Caribbean, Pacific on the one hand, and the European Union on the other hand, different challenges. Since the global financial and economic crisis, we do know that two things are happening. We can say two things about Europe. One, that the kind of model of integration and liberalization, right, one size fits all, that the European Union is promoting everywhere, except on Spain. Okay, it is not easy anymore to say that everybody must belong to the same currency zone and have the same interest rates, the same inflation rates, the same rate, without backup mechanisms that compensate different countries for their difficulties. But this is precisely what the European Union is trying to impose on us in the different regions. In fact, in West Africa, since we like the Europe so much, we are trying to have a common currency, like the euro, and that common currency got the same convergence criteria: 2.5% deficit, 2.3 inflation, almost everything copied by the European. But at least this one is in trouble now. But secondly, it is clear that for the European Union now, it's also very desperate that in order to retain its position in the world, it needs to retain its influence about different economies. Because now there's a bigger competition in the globe between not only Europe and the US, but also China, India, Brazil, who are also coming in and offering different options. That is also a different scenario for Africa. Now we have to ask ourselves in Africa. At the moment, we know that the European Union is very important for us, but at the same time, both in terms of the composition of our exports and different areas that we export to, there are other players in the market who are both an opportunity and a threat. How do we respond to that in a way that allows us to keep our options open, right, without tying ourselves to one region? And finally, even in Africa ourselves, there is the different initiatives that we are having, like continental free trade area, Africa Mining Vision. How do we implement all those things by at the same time maintain our space in our policies? Now, so we started EPA negotiations in one era. We are now deadlocked around it in another era where new challenges are met. What can civil society do to ensure that in this new era we continue the battle against this imbalanced trade agreements that we have been confronting and move to the new challenges? Now, I'm very good at posing answers, but I refuse. I'm good at posing questions, but I refuse to give any answers. So that's the kind of thing we can do.